So I know Bones recently did a video talking about like 5 tips for webcomic stuff, but I'm going to do another one because I don't think I can stress this stuff enough. Because like I want people to start webcomics and live their dreams and be happy, because then I get more cool webcomics to read. So like, do it. Anyways, 5 tips for starting a webcomic. Number 1, jump in. Just start it. Start posting it. So Bones talked about this in his video, but the most important part about webcomics is like getting yourself out there and becoming part of the community. It's such like a tight-knit community, and like it's such a great community. You just need to like jump in, start having fun, make the community even better. The great thing about webcomics is that they're independent and they're messy and they're fun and they fill niches that like nowhere else can. It's just like people pouring like their hearts and their dreams into their comics, or they're having fun and exploring new ideas, and they're just so great. Like I've never found anything else like them. So tell your story, get out there, and start posting it. So number 2, don't stress about your art not being good enough. You are going to improve if you stick with your webcomic. It's a fact. I've heard a lot of people in the webcomic community say that like, you want to improve your art like tenfold in a year? Start doing a webcomic, which I totally agree with. Comics force you to draw like a million different pictures per page just because of like, you know, there's like a million panels on every page, so you have to do a million different little compositions. So you'll improve super quick because you're forcing yourself to do all that extra work. Another thing to like ease your worries is that readers are really forgiving if like at the beginning of your comic, if like the art looks gross, as long as in the most recent pages the art has improved. Like that's my webcomic Sovereign. At the beginning it looks wonky as all heck, but like the art got better toward the end and people still read it and they still loved it and they had a good time with it. I learned a lot from it. Don't worry about your art not being good enough because it's gonna get better and it's probably great already. Number 3, don't stress about marketability. Because, like, webcomics are super niche. They're so, like, personal to the person creating them. And there aren't really, like, rules about, like, which genre you need to do. Because Bones, we did, like, a psychological elder god horror boys love comic with a tragic main character based off Bones' experiences with depression. And people loved it. Like, it was such a weird mishmash of all these different things and, like, really weird ideas. Like, main character Evan has, like, a mouse on his neck and on his, like, chest, and people were like, this is great! So, don't worry too much about, like, where your comic needs to fall in the market or if anyone will read it, because people are gonna love it. It's gonna resonate with them in a way that other forms of media won't resonate with people. So, just go out there and tell your story. It will connect with someone. I promise. Number 4, pace your update schedule at a rate that you can keep up with. So the standard for how many pages you should post per week is usually 1 to 2 pages a week, right? However, if you can't keep up with that because you have a busy schedule or it takes a long time for you to finish each page, it's okay to update once a month, if that's all you can manage. As long as you're being consistent and you keep putting out work, it's fine if it's not as frequently as like twice a week. Do what you can manage. People are gonna want to read your work. Just don't go on hiatus. I mean, unless you need to. I don't know. That being said, here's one of my hella sweet tips. The more frequently you do post, the faster you gain readership. And the more it shows up on people's update feeds, say on Tapastic or Webtoons. So posting frequently at the beginning of your comic works really well. It helps people get invested in the story. It gets more people's eyes on it. But if you can't manage that, that's okay. It's totally fine. There are no rules, man. Okay. And number 5, I find this rule super important, especially when you're beginning, is to buffer your pages. I would say buffer a month's worth of pages before you start posting. That way, if something comes up, like a big life thing, or you get sick, whatever, that way you still have pages that are being posted until you can get back with your butt in the chair drawing your comic. It'll bring your stress levels way down. Trust me. I used to buffer. I haven't been able to for a while because of all the stuff on my plate, And oh my god, I miss it. So yeah, buffer your stuff. It'll save you a lot of trouble. Alright, so those are some of my tips for starting a webcomic. I'm sure I have tons more. Probably do more videos on it. But the biggest takeaway from this should be, do it. Start your webcomic. Get your work out there. You can do it. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you have a question, please leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!